Today is Thursday, June 4th, 2020, and you're listening to What Just Happened, ProjectWasabi.com's brief recap of important events from around the world. This podcast is about 9.5 minutes long. Turning now to coronavirus vigil. According to Johns Hopkins University, as of this morning, June 4th, 2020, just in the United States alone, so far we have lost a total of 107,175 innocent souls, nearly 1,000 of whom, 994 deaths, just in the past 24 hours. About 7,500 miles east, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered a state of emergency in the Siberian city of Norilsk after 20,000 tons of diesel fuel from a nearby power station spilled into a nearby river. Environmental groups describe catastrophic damage and say the level of contaminants in nearby waterways has increased tens of thousands of times over. The power station's employees initially tried to contain the spill on their own, waiting 2 days before reporting it. The parent of the energy company said the foundation of a fuel storage tank possibly sank due to fine permafrost, highlighting an often overlooked danger the climate crisis poses to Arctic infrastructure and ecosystems. Meanwhile, here at home, more than a week after the unnecessary death of George Floyd, across the nation, mass protests, which, defiant but largely peaceful, show no sign of letting up. Do you throw out stuff in the toilet when you should be using your trash? LA Department of Water and Power, LA DWA, says be careful what you flush. The California State Water Board warns that anything other than toilet paper, even wipes labeled flushable, will, quote, clog sewers and cause backups at wastewater treatment facilities, creating an additional public health risk amid the coronavirus pandemic, unquote. Similar warnings from all over, including Charleston, South Carolina, Columbus, Ohio, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Denver, Colorado, and London, England. For example, in October of 2018, a large mound of disposable wipes clogged the sewers of Charleston, South Carolina, disrupting service for days and costing the local water utility and its customers more than $140,000 in damage and cleanup costs. So, in a perfect world, let's all do what we can to keep our local sewage systems up and running. If things look bad now, just imagine trying to get by without a toilet. In Minneapolis yesterday, it appears the protests are being heard. In addition to ex-cop Derek Chauvin, now his 3 fellow officers involved, Thomas Lane Kiernan, J. Alexander Quang, and Tao Tu, are now being charged as accomplices with aiding and abetting in the death of George Floyd. In downtown LA last night at about 6 p.m., literally thousands and thousands of Angelenos, mostly in peaceful protests, flooded the streets near LA Civic Center near First and Hill. However, in Washington, D.C., things are more stressful. After threatening to use active-duty military to subdue protests, Monday, June 1st, the president ordered law enforcement in Lafayette Park to hastily disperse dozens of lawfully assembled protesters. After 3 very short warnings, cops deployed pepper balls with irritant gas, don't call it tear gas, to clear out the entire park of demonstrators. All this so that the president, accompanied by an entourage that included his daughter Ivanka and Attorney General William Barr, could walk through the park and arrive at St. John's Church. Then, standing with the church behind him, his face angry and orange, the president held a Bible up at head level as about half a dozen photographers captured the bizarre moment. The president lowered the holy book, holding it wordlessly in front of his sternum for about 30 seconds. And then, the 73-year-old commander-in-chief simply departed, never having said a word. Wednesday, June 3rd, former Defense Secretary, retired 4-star General James Mattis wrote an open critique for The Atlantic, and I quote him, "When I joined the military some 50 years ago, I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution. Never did I dream that troops taking that same oath would be ordered under any circumstance to violate the constitutional rights of their fellow citizens, much less to provide a photo op for the elected commander-in-chief, with the military leadership standing alongside," unquote. The retired Marine general continues writing, quote, "The pandemic has shown us that it is not only our troops who are willing to offer the ultimate sacrifice for the safety of the community. Americans in hospitals, grocery stores, post offices, and everywhere have put their lives on the line in order to serve their fellow citizens and their country. We know that we are better than the abuse of executive authority that we witnessed in Lafayette Square. We must reject and hold accountable those in office who would make a mockery of our Constitution. At the same time, we must remember Lincoln's better angels and listen to them as we work to unite." Unquote. Retired Marine General John Allen also criticized Trump's photo op, saying it used religion to gloss over an attack against free speech. Other senior officials, including former President Jimmy Carter and former Joint Chiefs Chairman Mike Mullen, have also spoken out against Trump's rhetoric and threats of force against U.S. citizens. This day in history, June 4th, 1986, Jonathan Pollard pleads guilty to espionage for selling top-secret U.S. military intelligence to Israel. And because Pollard was never publicly tried, the American people never came to know that he offered classified information to 3 other countries before working for the Israelis, and that he offered his services to a 4th country while he was spying for Israel. Although sentenced to life in prison for violations of the Espionage Act, because his crime occurred prior to November 1st, 1987, Jonathan Pollard was eligible for parole in 2015. Despite strong personal opposition by many active and retired U.S. officials, including Barack Obama, Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, and CIA Director George Tenet, after nearly 30 years of imprisonment, Pollard was granted parole on July 7, 2015, and released on Friday, November 20th, 2015, in accordance with federal guidelines that had been in place in 1987. Happy birthday wishes going out today to Carola Ruth Siegel, better known by her training and married name. Today, Dr. Ruth Westheimer turns 92 years fantastic. Also, best known for such films as Coming Home and Silent Running, veteran actor Bruce Dern turns 84. And the baby of the group, well known for his role on Law & Order UK as Detective Sergeant Ronnie Brooks, British actor Bradley Walsh turns 60. And What Just Happened wishes these 3 good people their best birthday yet. LA weather today: sunny and warm with temperatures in the high 80s, then slightly cooler tomorrow as Friday morning's clouds give way to afternoon sunshine with temperatures in the mid-70s Friday afternoon. Nicely cool on Saturday with afternoon temps in the low 70s. Then a gradual warming trend starts Sunday afternoon, temperatures in the mid-70s, increasing progressively each day thereafter, and by Wednesday temperatures could be up in the mid-90s. Need a pleasant break from reality? Even if only for a few minutes. ProjectWasabi.com is free, legal, and safe for the environment. Theater of the Mind, spoken word audio podcasts feature non-fiction documentary content, as well as classic TV cop shows converted to old-school radio drama. Titles include Columbo, Law & Order, and Dragnet, to name just a few. The good guys always win. All content is completely free of charge, and except where otherwise noted, all titles are family-friendly and safe for the workplace. You've been listening to What Just Happened, a service of ProjectWasabi.com. From Los Angeles, California, podcasting daily at 12 noon on the websites Facebook, YouTube, and Podomatic. What Just Happened is a brief recap of significant events from around the world. On behalf of What Just Happened and its parent company, ProjectWasabi.com, this is Brian Newberry saying thanks for listening, stay healthy, y salud, and we'll talk to you soon.